so much money aside, maybe for acquisition of that property or demo or what have you, so that we can do the site prep and essentially to the contractor say, here's a lot for free, or here's a lot for, assessed value if you build within a year.
But that's how it was done in the past, the demo, or the housing committee did all that.
Yep.
Purchased it, demoed it.
Except then,
Offered it.
unfortunately, a couple of times the housing committee got stuck having to build the house too.
True.
Which that would be the part that gets taken away, is you would have the contractor. And I think we talked about there being a potential to try to market it a little bit. So if somebody decides they were looking to build a house, instead of the house getting built and them just, having a say in how the house is designed and what they want, and individualize it to where if they then get put together with the contractor and pre-approved for a loan, however it may be. And we talked about some down payment funding assistance for those homeowners, especially for, there were some other programs outside, city that were potentially available for down payment assistance.
Total package
Yep.
deal.
Yep.
And we can't obviously do exactly what we had done before, that 50,000 or 100,000, or whatever the city might decide to earmark for that purpose, if they so choose to do that. Wouldn't necessarily be given to the NCDC. The city would earmark that side, we would work with NCDC, and when those funds were needed, just like anything else with LB 40,
Right.
we would pay that.
The issue we kind of run into.
So in process, in theory, it works the same,
Yeah.
just the money is
The
transpired.
city controls the funds.
Yeah,
That's what it's
and
supposed to
the
be.
only
The
issue, and I don't know,
process
this might be a question for Rod, but the issue, not necessarily an issue, but something we'd have to work through is if the city does it and clears a lot, first of all, the people won't get a tax deduction if they donate the property to the city as opposed to donating it to the NCDC. We've got, like I said, we've got about 73,000 currently, so I don't anticipate the NCDC coming to ask for a general fund or ABC or any of those funds for a while. I think the idea would be we'd spend down the money already there before we would need to replenish it. And that may go 3, 4, 5 projects with what we have available now. The thing with the NCD, like for the city, and we talked about this a little bit, like with the city now owning that 3rd and Oak Street, and I'm not aware of all the regulations the city will have to follow, but does the city have to put that lot up for bid as opposed to being able to donate it or assessed value to the contractor then? Because if we have a contractor go through getting a design, putting everything together, doing all that, getting ready, and then find out, oh, well, we've got to as a city, because that's a rule for the city owning property, just like you've done out west here, well, we've got to advertise it, put it up for bid, and then they've got to submit a sealed bid and potentially not, I know that's sat empty for a year.
But, or you can list it, and if they pay the listing price, it can be negotiated.
Yeah, I don't know how that works for the city on what you guys have to
It's
follow.
$5,000 for
Or
real
less.
estate. I don't know the exact specifics of the statute, but I know in our other real estate transactions that we've had here recently, Rod has advised that, if it's under $5,000, the city's requirements to sell or what have you, that property is a lot less stringent. If it's over $5,000, it's a lot of work on the
Yeah.
city's end, and
Yeah.
time consuming.
So, our thoughts are, housing committee will work on trying to find the properties, identify, okay, do we have 2 together that we can acquire, clear off to build 1 project, and then try to get those people, like I said, the benefit for the property owner is they would receive the tax deduction by donating it to the NCDC as opposed to the city. They don't have that incentive for
Sure.
donating if it goes to the city.
I think the other one you need to consider, just like the depot, where
Yeah.
you pay us to take it off your hands.
Yes, and
We'll
that
take
could
care
be
of
in
the
some
demo,
cases.
you walk away.
But we talked about that and working with the
You
city
pay
through
the
Board of Health.
NCDC.
Hey, if you've got 5 things you need to do to get out of being in issue with Board of Health or with nuisance, hey, here's a secondary option.
You write us a check for X number of dollars and we'll take it off for you.
And I think, basically at the end of the discussion at the board meeting this morning, this afternoon, whatever, Kristen had some ideas of some other tools and things, and I have some ideas based on what other communities are doing, and so we kind of decided that she and I probably just need to sit down and try try to kind of hash out what we think is a good process and take that back respectively, so. I
As
think
long as
that-
we can get it to the car committee so they can get our policy procedures headed forward, that would be great.
Yeah, so I think we're moving in the right direction.
Good.
And then my last final comment, I guess, to everyone and the public in general is NDOT is planning, I'm sure you probably heard it on the radio, potentially seen it in the paper as well, Thursday, October 17th from 5 to 7. They are doing that, basically kind of town hall public input meeting on the Highway 20 project. So I think it would
I got a
be
letter
good,
on that.
you know,
Would
for
that be
city
good?
council to attend if you're able. Of course, if we're going to have a quorum, we'll have to advertise it even though we're not doing official business. But I guess if you're planning to attend, maybe let me know that, and I think it would be good because
What time did you say it is?
from 5 o'clock to 7.
I plan on being there.
They are going to, basically go over the design plan from a DOT standpoint and,
I probably won't be there.
I was gonna say, otherwise you can get around that too. It's a 2-hour thing. It's not just a set, it's like people in and out, so you guys just coordinate amongst
Right.
yourselves. So 3 of you aren't there at the same time. You
Yeah.
Or
probably
I'll
avoid
sit outside the
each other.
window watching it.
anyway, I just think, you know, I don't, you know, of course, I've been involved with this with Mark for quite a while now, so I'm well acquainted with the plan, but for the city council, it might be good, you know, if you're interested to.
It's not a 2-hour meeting. type
No,
deal?
not,
Okay, so you
it's
have
kind of
to-
people can come and go.
Talk about it.
Yeah, the one thing now, it's been several years ago, I don't know if any of you were on the council, and it was probably while Christie was still here, we did the big, design portion of the, you know, anticipating that project, so all those plans and designs are there as far as lighting, sidewalk, trees, whatever it may be. So I don't know if that stuff is still any good or could be usable, but it was a substantial amount of
Yeah,
money
it-
that was
It did
spent.
Highway 20 and Highway 7
Yeah.
both.
Mhm.
And we have kind of a impromptu, I guess, I don't know what the official title of that committee is, Highway 20
Revitalization.
Committee. And that, a lot of that was discussed. We talked about that with NDOT, we talked about that with the city's engineers. And I think I don't want to speak on behalf of the committee, but what I took away from the meetings with the committee was that really what we want to really spend the focus on is downtown more so. Rather than putting a whole bunch of money into Highway 20, more maybe let's wait and do a big downtown revitalization in 2023 and try to put the focus there. I guess in the meantime, what the committee was looking at for 20 was lighting, potentially upgrading the lighting. We talked about trails. Trails are going to be kind of quite expensive. So what we had worked with the state was, the state was willing to put normal sidewalk in
Yeah.
the whole length of from,
On the south
you know,
side, right.
east to west, city jurisdiction, sidewalk running all the way through, and the committee was kind of happy with that. And we also talked about, you know, like the speed signs, somehow improve the crosswalk areas around here between the school with kids crossing. So those were kind of the main focuses of the committee, I guess. Because NDOT is going to go from sidewalk to sidewalk and take out everything. So when we did our walkthrough last year or 2 years ago now? Was
Years
that-
last year.
last year, and we talked about that, you know, every green space, every cement, every gravel, you know, should that go back to green, should it go back to gravel, standard concrete, you know, kind of what's the aesthetic? And Marcus Fairhead, as a representative of the community, did the walkthrough also with us, the city, the DOT, so that's kind of the gist, I guess, of where we are to date. I think bid letting, last I knew was gonna be August of 2020 for the state, so for any improvements that the city wants to have incorporated into that bid letting, I think Mark told me we would have to have that to him by April of 2020. So I've been working with Jess at Olson's to kind of come up with some lighting designs for the city council to be able to review, and kind of cost differentials for what the state would pay versus what our cost would be. We know right from the get-go that we gotta pay for the festoons and all of that, which is $250 per pole, so we're gonna have some cost, but
did you guys talk about, I know one of the other things that's been discussed previously was part of that was if you guys needed to do any infrastructure work under 20 as a part of when that's gonna be torn up, if there were sewers or what, stores, whatever it might need.
We're actually kind of looking out because all of our infrastructure's in the right of way. So we don't have actually anything under the highway. And most of that infrastructure is in pretty good shape. The questionable on our end, I guess, from Brad Knight's perspective, Brad Miller, was under the intersection of 20 and 7, what the water and sewer mains looked like there. And we did have Johnson Service come up and camera that intersection, and it looks to be, of course, you know, when they come in with all their equipment and everything, you know, who's to say that that won't damage some things, but as of right now, it looks pretty good, so.
Anything else?
I just have one. Go ahead, Rick.
I got a question. Did we do follow-up on our last request on cleanup from Levi?
But Levi, I guess I personally did not talk to Bruce.
I haven't been by there lately either.
Maybe we could get a report from Bruce to you, Lisa, or to Jeremiah, or both of you.
Yep.
I think we should have a follow-up on that, make sure that we're compliant with the days set out.
Has anybody been by there to see?
I've been by there a couple times.
I thought that
but I
Levi
know the
had moved some things.
Wood piles haven't been touched. I can pretty much say that wood piles have never been touched.
Yeah, I'll follow up with Bruce.
And can I get clarification, what is the size on that again?
I think it's 10 by 16.
Okay, did our minutes say 10 by 12 in our minutes?
12, this is 12 by, sorry, what's that?
I should ask that earlier.
City ordinance allows a wood pile of 12 by 10, is what it says.
That's
And
not-
that may have been what was said in the meeting. I'd have to look at the notice.
Okay, just, I seen that, I forgot to bring it up earlier, but
Yeah.
I think we need clarification on that, we probably should, you know. get that
It's
correct.
printed on the actual notice that's given to the property
Right.
owner, but
I
yeah.
was thinking you were,
Yeah.
it was different, that's why I said that.
Right.
The other thing, I've had a couple of people contact me about the speed around the school.
Too fast?
Too fast. I know we have speed signs in there, I know it gets patrolled, but you don't get patrolled all the time. I've had people say, well, can you put speed bumps up?
Balls?
On-
Well, yeah,
Got him covered.
Yeah,
I was
going
gonna
down
say,
Second,
The
going down
manhole
Second
from
Street,
the
going down Third
Oh, yeah,
Street.
there you go.
Those, maybe those two, I think Elm Street's not bad, but Second Street and especially Third Street by the grade school.
Okay.
Another call I received, were we putting rock somewhere, that red rock somewhere in the community?
The aggregate, that's for patching. No, for patching.
I see they cleaned up a little bit of it, a couple places, but they didn't get it all cleaned up. I mean, again, I don't, assuming they used a loader to pick up what they spilled.
I guess I'm not sure. What the-
Where at?
like
If
specific
you go like
areas.
down Second Street,
Like they dropped it out of the back of the truck, or?
I don't know, it's from here to the back table, and it was about that thick, and today they cleaned part of it up.
Well, they
Again, I didn't know if
put
that
that
was-
over the oil.
No, this is past that intersection to the east,
So closer to the school.
east,
On Second.
where, Jason Good lives.
Uh-huh.
Go through that intersection east, and then if you go on east, the next intersection too,
Going up the hill.
east of my house, there were several spots, and again.
By
some-
Ewers is,
What's that?
by Ewers, by Jerry Ewers.
Not quite that far, yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, somebody called, wanted to know how come, I said I did not know anything about it. So again, I just didn't know what happened, if we were.
Well, I know they're using it, because you see it all over town, and that's what they're using.
I don't think,
I
again,
said
I think it
patching,
just probably
patching.
fell off of something is what happened, or, again, whatever it may have been.
Yeah. Not sure.
Anything else? Well, let's adjourn at 6:02.
Confusing.
I know it.
Thank you, guys.
Greg, before you go,
Sure. Then I did do that.
Greg, I don't know if you're getting stuff or not, but everybody here knows, I